It began as an ordinary day in Dresden, where a young archivist named Raphael was diligently digitizing a collection of aging photographs from the Second World War. His task was routine, sifting through faded, yellowed images that carried the weight of history in their fragile frames. Most were unremarkable, snapshots of a grim era, frozen in black and white. But one photograph halted him in his tracks, its stark composition seizing his attention in a way he hadn't anticipated. The image depicted 6 Nazi soldiers standing in a semicircle, their postures rigid with authority. At the center, a woman stood with her hands bound tightly above her head, her figure framed by the cold indifference of her captors. Yet it wasn't the scene's inherent brutality that struck Raphael. It was her face. There was no trace of fear in her expression, no pleading, no surrender to despair. Instead, her gaze burned with an unyielding defiance, a quiet but fierce resolve that seemed to transcend the moment of her captivity. She stood as if death itself could not break her spirit. This single photograph, unassuming in the vast archive, was uploaded to the database as part of Raphael's work, but its power could not be contained. It spread rapidly, first among historians, then beyond, igniting fascination and debate. A small detail, a belt buckle etched with the initials FH, became the spark for a deeper investigation. Archivists, researchers, and amateur historians began piecing together fragments of a story long buried in the shadows of time. From these efforts, a name emerged. Friederike Ras. Friederike was no household name, no celebrated figure enshrined in textbooks or honored with medals. She was a ghost in the historical record, a woman whose existence had nearly been erased. Yet, as the photographs circulated, whispers of her deeds began to surface. She had been a liaison for the resistance, a clandestine operative who moved through the chaos of war with extraordinary courage. Friederike smuggled messages between resistance cells, orchestrated daring escapes for prisoners, and operated under false identities to outwit the Nazi regime. Her contributions were monumental, yet they had gone unrecorded, her sacrifices overlooked by the official chronicles of the war. The photograph's viral spread brought forth voices from the past. Among them was Anna, an elderly woman whose frail hands trembled as she pointed to the image on a television program. "That's her," Anna declared, her voice steady despite the years. "She saved me." Decades earlier, Anna had been a terrified 6-year-old, huddled in a corner of a Nazi camp, her world reduced to hunger and fear. It was Friederike who found her, who knelt beside her with a gentleness that defied the surrounding horror. Friederike pressed food into Anna's small hands, wrapped her in a coat, and held her close. Then, with a calm but urgent whisper, "Don't look back, just go forward." She guided Anna through the camp's security, leading her to safety. After that moment, Friederike vanished from Anna's life, leaving no trace beyond the memory of her kindness. No grave marks Friederike's resting place. No death certificate exists to close the chapter of her story. But the photograph endures, a testament to her existence and her defiance. Researchers later determined that it was taken in an SS interrogation facility, a place where resistance fighters were tortured and broken. Friederike, it seems, had been captured. Yet, even in what may have been her final moments, she stood unbroken, her spirit a beacon of resistance against the forces that sought to crush her. As the investigation deepened, more fragments of Friederike's life came to light. Letters bearing the initials FH surfaced, their words brimming with courage and compassion. Reports emerged of her covert operations, including the remarkable feat of organizing the escape of 8 people under a false identity. Each discovery added weight to the photograph, transforming it from a fleeting image into a symbol of resilience and humanity. Today, that photograph occupies a place of honor at the heart of a museum exhibition. Beneath it, a simple yet profound inscription reads, "Let them see what they tried to erase." Friederike's story transcends the boundaries of a war narrative. It is a testament to the power of defiance without weapons, of kindness that persists in the face of cruelty, and of courage that alters the course of lives. Her legacy, once nearly forgotten, now shines as a reminder that even in the darkest times, a single person's actions can ripple through history, changing destinies and inspiring generations. This is the story of Friederike Ras, a woman who stood defiant in the face of death, whose compassion saved lives and whose courage refused to be erased. If her story moves you, share it, honor it, and keep her memory alive. There are countless untold stories waiting to be uncovered, and together we can ensure they are never forgotten.